Hey YouTube, Attic here, and I am currently playing on the new Genesis map, and I am living in the bog biome. Now the bog biome is listed as the easy spawn point, but what I have found, what my tribe mates have found, and what most people have found is it's not that easy. And this is the reason why. The insect swarm. Now these things come in individual groups at first, but they will converge on any nearby players. You will get the text that you can see at the top of the screen. You are being targeted by an insect swarm, and they will be drawn to you. How do we deal with these things? What can we do? Well, first step, if you really have to, you can walk or run away from them before they even start damaging you. That's definitely possible. A normal walk speed should be sufficient to outrun them, but this is basically a swamp biome. There are predators everywhere. So you have Dilophosaurs, Raptors, Sarcosuchus, and Caprosuchus to deal with. And I don't know about you, but I don't really want to be speared by a Capro and dragged under the water to my death just because I'm walking away from a few bugs. So that's not really ideal. What else can we do? Well, you could submerge yourself in water. That's definitely possible. Once you submerge yourself, you will hear a screeching sound that indicates that the bugs have now lost their focus on you, and you could swim away or wait for them to move a little bit further away. But the bugs don't really move very far or very fast for that matter, so you would have to be underwater for a little while before they are completely gone. Honestly, I would just go underwater to swim a short distance just to gain some distance on the swarm and then complete the escape by walking away. If you do go in the water, you are again at risk for Caprosuchus and Sarcosuchus, and now you've included piranhas into that. So underwater isn't really ideal. It's kind of emergency use only. What else can we do? Well, we can do what I'm doing right now. You can hide inside of a structure. The swarms themselves are comprised of all of these little entities, but they each have a core for each unit. Now the core is invisible, you can't see it, but it's at ground level. So if I were to say swing my pickaxe at this door without getting too close, you see that 53? I did damage to a swarm, and we did see one of the entities fall to the ground. That indicates lost health. Now your attack range is greater than that of the swarm, so that means that if you get in a sticky situation and you get into a building before they start damaging you, that's key, before they start damaging you, you can fight them off from a door frame or a window frame. Either one works. The entities will still pass through the wall, but the core cannot damage you itself. So if I were to take damage outside of the wall and then walk in, that's when the entities come into play. So once you've received damage from a swarm, the bugs themselves indicate its attack range. Before you've been damaged, the attack range is about that of a raptor. So you can actually outdistance the attack range of these things very easily. The best way to handle them, we have found, and the most important tool on this map in my opinion, is the torch. By hitting these bugs with a torch, because they are vulnerable to flames, it applies a damage over time effect. This dot ticks for about 100 damage per tick. It will tick 2 to 3 times. More often 2 than 3. So what I like to do is I like to hit each swarm, wait for 2 ticks, and then swing again. This will reapply the dot, and it saves durability on my torch. And I'm only saying this because I've seen a few people just swing their torch over and over and over again. You're just going to burn through your torch's durability really fast doing it that way. It's best to just do the damage over time approach. So what else about combat with the insect swarm? Well, it doesn't matter what armor you're wearing, they will do the same amount of damage to you. They completely ignore it. Whether you're naked, whether you're wearing riot gear, it's the same damage. It's less than a point per hit from the swarm, but it's still a death by 1,000 cuts kind of scenario. So you can still fight them off if you get swarmed, but you don't want to stay in combat with them forever. You can't just let them wail on you. What else about them? They don't cause durability damage to your armor, and I will demonstrate that in a moment as well. I want to demonstrate a de-aggro from them first, but I will demonstrate the lack of durability loss on your gear. As you can see at the start of this video, my gear is at 100% durability. So, let me show you something that I've just recently discovered, because I have tames now. Fancy that. I have tested this with 3 different tames. I've tested it with a raptor, which I have over there. I've tested it with a stego, and I've tested it with an iguanodon. The raptor and the stego, even if you have aggro on you, like if I walk out the door and they focus on me right away, as long as I get to my raptor and mount up, these bugs will stop focusing on you. I'm not sure why that is. It doesn't make sense to me, but that's how it works. If you're on an iguanodon, however, it doesn't work. And the bugs will actually go out of their way to attack the iguanodon as well, not just players. I'm not sure why they don't do it to wild iguanodons, just tame ones. So let's demonstrate the de-aggro effect now. So I'm going to sprint through here because I'm definitely going to take some damage. Okay. Let's get out of the damage range. Oh man. He was on neutral. Hold on. Let me get out of the attack range. I've whistled my raptor to follow me. Okay. And now we're going to run around. So, I have mounted it up. They have damaged me previously. These swarms are no longer damaging me, and now the text is gone. The swarms are no longer aggroed onto me. So, I believe they should not damage me. And sure enough, they're not even trying. That's great. So, if you're in trouble and you do have tames, you can mount up to avoid the damage. Now, let's demonstrate combat. So I'm going to walk a little bit away. I'm going to hop off. I'm going to pull out my torch. Always have a backup torch, by the way. And I'm going to demonstrate the safe way first. So I'm, or maybe not. See there, 1, 2, hit. 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 And that's a level 20 dead. So, it did do some damage to me, and I do have a swarm closing the gap. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to wait for the core to get close enough. I'm going to be start stepping. Oh, damn, I didn't do it properly. I messed up there. Hold on. That's why we have backups. Level 10's dead. Oh, 35's dead. Okay. But that's why we have backups, so when our first torch breaks, we can switch to the second one, finish off the swarm we're currently in combat with, get distance, and then repair our other one. So I'm going to whistle stop so this thing stops following me. So what I'm listening for is because you can't see where the core is at, and the swarm is spread out kind of like it's spreading out right now, the only way for you to get an idea is to listen for the intensity of the buzz. As you can see, I'm kind of stutter stepping. I'm waiting for it to get closer. There's the maximum attack range. Always look for the maximum attack range. Backpedal, move in a circular motion. This way you can kite out the bugs and kill it without taking any damage. See that? I didn't take any damage. I have another swarm coming to me from either side, so I'm going to split the difference. And I'm going to take damage from this one now to demonstrate lack of durability loss. So far I have demonstrated the de-aggro while mounting up. I've demonstrated that you can kill them easily with torches. I'm going to put my torch away real quick. Let's go under, let's see if I can submerge here. It's too shallow. Okay, I can't. Don't have a big pool of water. But they're still following me. They're still aggroed onto me. Hear the screeching? That indicates that they still want to suck my blood. Alright. So now let's take some damage. How about that? And I'm tired. All these bugs apply poison. So I'm taking damage now. Let's go ahead and open up the inventory. You can see that my health is going down. Let's look at the durability. The durability on my armor is not decreasing at all, while my health still is. So now let me go ahead and kill these swarms. And I'm poisoned. And I'm tired. That's one dead. And that's the other dead. So as you can see, once I got into combat, it didn't matter whether or not I was in the structure, I was still taking damage in here. So that's another good demonstration. But yeah, these bugs are not too bad to handle if you know what you're doing. Initially, I can see how it can get frustrating. So let's recap everything we've covered today. These bugs do a little bit of damage at a time. They do not damage your armor, and it also doesn't matter what armor you're wearing. You can de-aggro them by just moving far enough away. You can de-aggro them by submerging yourself in water. You can de-aggro them by mounting up. They will style aggro onto you through walls, and they'll be waiting just outside your building to attack you. So be ready for combat as soon as that happens. If you have not received damage and you are inside of a building, they will not be able to damage you. Once you receive damage and walk into the building, the bugs now indicate their attack range, and they will be able to damage you while you're inside, even if everything's closed up. And that goes for even people who are not part of the original combat. That's another good thing to add. So if there's a player inside of a building and there's a player outside of a building, and combat starts with the external player, the internal player could still be damaged if the swarm is near the building. So be sure to watch out for that. You might end up killing your sleeping tribe mates while they're offline. I've done that a couple of times. So what else? The torch is the best tool to kill them with. It's the most effective. You can kill them with other tools, but it does take a little bit longer. It applies a damage over time effect, 100 damage per tick, most often 2 ticks instead of 3. So just go ahead and walk up, find that maximum attack range, and backpedal once you find it while swinging after 2 ticks. You will kill the swarm. The most important thing for handling these swarms is patience. If you have a little bit of patience, you will be able to kill the swarms, and I've trapped myself in the building. How about that? But yeah, just being able to kill these things makes this game so much easier. They do still come around, and they might come around at inconvenient times. If you're trying to tame something, try and kill the swarms away from the unconscious dino, because they will still damage wild dinos if you're in combat with them. Don't get caught unawares. Yeah, that pretty much covers up handling the insect swarm. So remember to backpedal, stay safe, and try not to involve anybody else in your insect swarm combat, because things can get messy.